Hello and welcome to a new video of Pongo BTC, and today this dog is gonna tell you about the crypto markets. We're gonna start with BTC first, then we're going into Ethereum, and then we do some of these juicy altcoins we're looking at. Alright, let's start with BTC. What have we seen today? Well, another insane day for BTC. We broke past the 50k mark only yesterday. And now we're already past the 52k mark, which is insane actually. Doesn't make any sense for me how fast this is going. It's 2017 all over again. All right, let's get into the technicals. First of all, let's measure the move we have made today. As sometimes I'm a bit lost in my tools. Actually can't find it. Here we go. And right now we're up around 6% from the low, and at the highest point we were up 8% from the low of the day, which is very good for a day, of course. And what we see is we're kind of trending upwards here. We had this upwards trend, after which we broke this previous all-time high, 42k, jumped all the way up, then we went slowly again, and now we're looking at another explosive move up. So if we measure these moves that I just displayed here in terms of a range, we get something like this. We have a range right here that goes to the bottom, and I'm only measuring the depths of the candles here. After which we leave the range and actually do an explosive move, like I just said. And we can see that we do the same here, taking all the candle closes, and we can assume that we will close above. It's still 4 hours, so we never know, of course. But it seems like we're already leaving this range and are into price discovery again. So what can we deduce from this? Well, first of all, we see that this climb up was a bit steeper than this climb up. It doesn't change too much, but if we measure these degrees, this one is 31 degrees, and this one is around 26 degrees. So it's around 5 degrees less. So with that logic, the next move should of course be 21 degrees. Well, I'll tell you it's not, but for funsies, let's actually calculate that. If we had another move, and this one was actually also a bit more than a week. This was around a week, so it would also be a bit shorter, but less steep. So let's say we have around 9 days. 9 days is fine. With a 17% degree angle, we would end up around 56k, around that mark. What do I expect for BTC? Well, in the midterm, well, first of all, let me start with the long-term projection. Of course, we are in a bull market for BTC, and we see that even if we do make a 30% correction, that doesn't mean the bull market is over. We've seen that very clearly here. And for everyone that is new, this is not different from anything in 2017. We've also seen corrections of 30%, after which we moved up. And this is exactly what we're seeing here. However, I do think in the midterm there might be a correction coming up. And I don't think it's at 52k, but I do want to warn you early though. Since right now from the previous all-time high, we've already moved around 25%, which is okay. At the target I put here 56k. It's not a concrete target. I might go into targets later. It's around 33%. And what I always like to do is take a look at the previous bull market. Binance doesn't allow me though. Let's look at the BLX. We go to the previous bull market and measure a move until we get the next correction. So this is a pretty similar move we see here. We reached some highs. We had a 30% correction. Let's see how much it actually is. A 35% correction, pretty similar. Then we broke all-time highs. We pumped up. a bit of consolidation, and we actually had a small dump right here. So how much is this previous peak from this peak? Around 25% of what we're at right now, after which we have a correction of around 13%. Nothing too big, right? Let's extend it a bit more. They were up 60% from the previous all-time high, taking a 40k all-time high, and taking 60% for that would be 65k. If we take a 65k target and then move down, like we did here, we can see something like a 30% correction. All right, let's get back to reality. Where are we right now? I hate how these charts sometimes to move. Well, I don't want them to move. All right, let's look at the reality. Where are we right now? Well, we said something about a 33% increase from the previous all-time high until we had before we had the last correction. Maybe 60%, something like this. We get 67k, and of course this would be very, very good, but it's only 30% from here. It's nothing too big. We could see a 30% correction from something like this. And you can see that a 30% upwards movement is not the same as a 30% downwards movement. We can see something like a pump up to 67k, after which we correct all the way down to 46k. This could happen. This is a 30% correction, and it's pretty similar to something we have seen here. So I want you to keep this in mind. Please keep riding this profits up. I don't know whether I would advise you to buy now. If you are in positions and you are comfortable with what you're holding right now, and you know the downside risk, of course, I would say just keep on holding. And when I say the downside risk, we could always test back our previous support and then move further. And then the downside risk is around 20%. If you do want to take this 20% risk, I would say just hold your positions and keep riding it up till the highs. Well, here I say 67k. Well, let's do another theoretical high of 60k. Maybe this is a psychological barrier, and then we move around 30% down. Well, you can see then we do have this retest of the previous high, where we do this. We retest the previous high, and then we continue further. In the long term, I still expect us to continue further. I just want to say, when we see explosive moves, be careful, since also this explosive move came down eventually to the median. And also the same here, we're coming from this bottom, it's an explosive move, it comes down to the median. So I'm not saying it happens here, I'm not saying it happens at 60k, I don't know where it exactly happens, but the higher we go up, take this risk into account. And you might want to scrape off some profits to buy this 30% dip that we actually see here. Alright, that's actually enough for now about Bitcoin. Let's go into the juicy altcoins, with first Ethereum, of course. We've seen that Ethereum the last days have been moving quite horizontally. In general, of course, since December we are up a lot. If we measure it, we are up more than 200% since December, so maybe the horizontal moves only make sense. But what we can see from previous times is if we have an explosive move, we kind of go horizontal for a while until we test this 20-day moving average for a while, and then we have another explosive move up. But what we see right now is that Ethereum is quite close to this 20-day moving average. It might catch up. And we could be pretty close to a breakout on Ethereum. Obviously, what also is very important is that we actually broke the all-time high. Let me actually put a nice line here. We broke the all-time high, and what we see is that we went up, we retested, and now we're in these zones. And in the very short term, we're actually forming this kind of triangle where we have this. I'm not saying 2k, we haven't reached 2k yet, but something 1900, a bit above 1900 as resistance. And if we do break above that, I think the sky is clear for Ethereum to rise up. Of course, for altcoins, we don't look at the USD pair exclusively. We also look at the BTC pair. And what do we see at the BTC pair, except for my beautiful drawings? We see that Ethereum had a very nice pump up. It has corrected already from the high around 25%, which normally signals, well, it's a good time to buy. It might not be the bottom, but you're at least not buying the top. And we're now around the halfway point again. So again, explosive upwards move down to the median before we rise further. And whether it's down to exactly the median or a bit below before we continue, it doesn't really matter. Right now, it's a good time to buy Ethereum in general, obviously not a financial advice, but anywhere in this region is a good time to buy. If you don't want to miss out and want to take a bit more risk, I would say you can buy now. If you want to take less risk, but have a chance of missing out on the Ethereum move, I would say let it go down for a little bit, but we're obviously dealing with these resistances indicated with the pink lines on the chart. These pink lines, one resistance is at support, is at 0.0347, which is actually very, very close to where we are. We actually already touched it. And the bottom resistance is 0.03378. And we see here that this has been touched 4 times as resistance, and it normally turns into support. And if we were to measure from where we are right now to that point, that's only 4%. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Only if we really go down to this level before we continue back up, it makes sense to wait. And I think that's less likely than that we make a move up from here or a move up from here. All right, that's Ethereum. So summarizing, a move is coming very soon, in my opinion. And I'm also heavily loaded into Ethereum. Let's look at some fun altcoins, shall we? So first to the coins I made a video about. First of all, Reef. It got a lot of attention. I got more than 1,000 views. Thank you for that again. Let's go into the TA on Reef. Well, what do we see here? Last time I said that there probably will be a retracement to the previous resistance, which was right here around 0 or 80 Satoshi. We went a bit below actually, and we tested the 20-day moving average. You can see this blue line here is tested multiple times during the uptrend. And you can see that on a lot of altcoins. I'll show you later that the 20-day moving average is very, very, very important for altcoins. So is Reef a good buy right now? I would say if you believe in the protocol, you have to, and believe in the team, you have to for every project outside of the top 100 and maybe even within the top 100. But if you do believe in the protocol, if you do believe in Reef, I would say right now is a very good time to buy. The targets for the short term are around 150 Satoshi, which are 80% up in Bitcoin value from here, which is very good. Alright, I don't have a lot more to say about Reef. If you want to look into the fundamentals, please take a look at the other video that I made. But for now, this is very fine. Good, let's move on to other pairs. For example, GRT BTC. We've recently covered this one on the channel. If you want to see what GRT is, please take a look at that video. Good. So what about the TA on GRT? Well, we can see that we have broken the all-time high on the Bitcoin pair. Since launch, we have went up to 3,300 Satoshi. We saw that as all-time high. We went down all the way. We went up. And also here you can see this 20-day moving average is acting as very important support. And then we made an explosive move to all the way to the upside here. And now we are returning to the mean. And I would say right now is a decent time to buy. And why I say decent, and I'm a bit hesitant with that, I'm not super bullish on this chart yet. I feel like GRT can come down further to this 0.618 Fibonacci level because the move up and the move down are so extremely aggressive. It only took 5 days to go up 200% for GRT, and then again it took 5 days to go down 33%. I feel like GRT is not really done moving down yet, and it could go back to this 0.618 Fibonacci level. And obviously what we also see here, these very important levels, it could actually meet somewhere around here with this 20-day moving average in the following days. So I would say it's not super risky to buy GRT now if you don't want to miss out. The downside risk is about 17%, which is okay for an investment because the upside potential is so huge. So if you want to buy GRT, I would say buy some now, and if it does drop down further, you can buy some more. Alright, those are the coins that I covered on the channel. I want to talk about 3 more coins. That's Link, DOT, and ADA. These are my 3 babies. I love these coins. I know they're in the top 10 and the returns are a bit uh, less than some of the more REEF and GRT like style coins. However, I do really like these coins and I think they still have a lot of upwards potential. Alright. If we take this Fibonacci again from the bottom till the top that we have seen, we see that we had an explosive move, a return to the mean, and actually then continued further. But what we have seen right now is that we haven't retested this all-time high, or it's not an all-time high, this recent high that we see here. I'm sorry, I thought I heard something. This recent high that we see here, but we have actually turned around in the middle. And we've gone through this level, and to me, it's quite clear that we are really making this this price channel right here, where we have higher highs and higher lows. What this means for the price is that it will probably take some time for ChainLink to get to the all-time high and break it up, maybe even until March. All right, that's Link. If you're looking to buy Link, obviously it's at the lower ranges of the price range right now. When it's at the lower ranges, it's a good thing to buy. Then DOT. DOT. The thing I love about DOT is that we have actually broken all-time highs, and it's very, very similar to what we see in Ethereum, or what we saw in Ethereum USD. Let me show you. We have actually broken all-time high, and now we are hovering around this point. And I feel like the same is happening for .BTC. So we have actually broken it, but not a lot has happened. We're shaking a bit around this point, and it's waiting for the next explosive move. Since we didn't really have a large exponential move yet, we've seen one here, and we see that we have returned to the mean right here, and then we continued. This was a really short correction though. It is only a wick all the way down to this level, to the 0.5 level, to the mean, and then it continued further. However, it did correct and it then went up. But now again we are kind of range bound between these lines, and we're slowly moving up. This is a trend with some coins. With Ethereum, with DOT, this is a trend. And we have to recognize this trend and act accordingly. Right now, I think DOT's a comfortable position, however, it's not really breaking out any time. Alright, ADA. Let's talk about ADA. I mean, I'm bullish on ADA, but this chart is a bit weird, right? I saw this as the low of the move, and this is the high of the move. That's also why I took the Fibonacci between it, because here the move really started. Here we tested the 20-day moving average, and then we went up. And what we have seen is that we have returned to the mean. We touched the 20-day moving average, which are both signs of bottoming out. And then we continued further and immediately went back down. And this is something similar to what we saw on Link, I think. Yeah, it's something similar that we saw on Link, only a bit more aggressive. It only happened in 3 days. So I'm a bit unsure about this one. I'm quite bullish since we have tested the 20-day moving average. We returned to the mean. So I think the downside risk on ADA BTC is, yeah, maximum 10%. We can retest it the 20-day and then we move up again. But it's a bit weird. So I would take this 10% into account. We probably will go this 10% down. However, again, the upside is massive since we will break this all-time high eventually. And the upside is way more than a downside. So also ADA is a good buy. In conclusion, almost all alts are a good buy right now. Doesn't mean they will move up right now, exactly right now, because BTC is doing huge moves. And what we see then is that the BTC pairs of the altcoins bleed often. So my advice would be buy the coins that you like, buy small bags, hold some BTC, and watch the move of BTC. See what it does. And when BTC cools down, so when we are past this explosive move that we see right here, and that we are seeing now again, this explosive move up, when we're done with that and we're actually going slower up, this time is altcoin time. This time here is time for altcoins. This time here is time for altcoins. These explosive move up are for the majors. And with the majors, I actually these days only mean BTC, because BTC is really spanning the crown here and taking all the attention. So for now, buy the coins that you like, buy small bags, wait for this BTC move, it's this exponential move to end. Doesn't have to end in one day. We can have another candle that's exponential, and we immediately go up to highs like, I don't know, 56k or so, 2 exponential candles until we go a bit sideways again. Sideways, good for alts. Exponential moves, good for BTC. Alright, we covered a lot this video. I think this video is very long. If you like the content, please drop a like. You can subscribe. I have some affiliate links in the description if you like. I love to talk with you guys in the comments, you know that. So please leave a comment. We can have a nice discussion on any of the altcoins that I just discussed. Or maybe you have a good suggestion for a next video. I want to say bye. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.